So if you're interested in working as a nurse in Finland, whether or not you already have a prior degree in the field, you need to first get a qualified degree and get licensed by the Finnish healthcare authorities. However, because of the massive demand for healthcare workers in this country, getting licensed will also give you excellent job opportunities. So in this video, I will break down everything that you need to know about getting licensed to work as a nurse in Finland, as well as in the European Union. What's up guys and welcome back to the channel, it's Oliver here. It's currently November, so it's cold and dark here in Finland. Regardless, welcome to the brand new campus of the Metropolia University of Applied Sciences here in the city of Helsinki. So Metropolia is one of the great schools where you can actually study to become a nurse in Finland. Talking of which, how do you actually become a nurse in Finland? Well, in short, to become a nurse in Finland, you need to first obtain a qualified degree in nursing from a Finnish University of Applied Sciences. A degree in nursing is a bachelor's level degree that takes around 3.5 years to complete. After your graduation, you have to apply for a license to practice as a nurse in Finland through the National Supervisory Authority for Welfare and Health, or Valvira in short. In addition to your degree, all practicing nurses and other healthcare professionals working in Finland have to reach a certain proficiency either in Finnish or Swedish. However, let's talk more about this in just a second. Alright, so a common question that I get all the time is, what if you already have a degree in nursing from your home country, for example, from the Philippines? Well, in short, if you have a degree or a certificate in nursing from another country, you unfortunately cannot work as a nurse in Finland with just that degree. This is because of the legislation that we have in Finland, as well as in the European Union, that define the minimum qualifications that nurses have to have in order to work here. So the issue is that most of the nursing degrees taught outside the European Union do not fulfill these requirements. However, if you have a previous degree in nursing, do not worry, because there is a great way for you to get certified to work in Finland without redoing your entire degree. So basically what you need to do is to apply for a so-called top-up degree, which is basically a supplementary nursing degree that allows you to get certified to work here in less than 3 academic years. Even better, because these top-up degrees are also taught in accordance with EU directives. Completing such a degree not only gets you qualified to work in Finland, but also all around the European Union. Alright, so regardless of whether you already have a degree in nursing or whether you want to start your studies from scratch, an important question is, why should you study and work as a nurse in Finland in the first place? Well, to put this in simple terms, in Finland we have a massive and ever-growing demand for nurses and other talented healthcare workers, and finding work after graduation and also during your studies is actually rather easy. In addition, the quality of nursing education in Finland is extremely high, and Finnish universities of applied sciences like Metropolia offer world-class education in the field. Also, the fact that Finland has one of the best healthcare systems in the world means that studying under this system will prepare you for an excellent career in the field, regardless of the country. Alright, so the next important question is, how much does a degree in nursing actually cost? Well, the exact tuition fees per year depends on the specific school that you're applying to, but in general, tuition fees for nursing for students who come from outside the European Union or European Economic Area are less than 10,000 euros per year. These kind of tuition fees makes the cost of studying nursing in Finland much more affordable than in many other European and non-European Union countries. Also, due to the comparably high salaries and the excellent job opportunities, even during your studies, getting a degree in Finland will pay itself back very quickly. I should also note that every single school teaching nursing in Finland also has generous scholarship programs available to people who come from outside the European Union and European Economic Area. Alright, so the next question you might have is, what does a bachelor's in nursing actually contain? Well, the exact contents of your studies will be dependent on your individual study plan, which is done at the start of your studies. However, if we take an overall look at the bachelor's degrees in nursing in Finland, they consist of basic studies, professional studies, elective studies, supervised clinical practices, and a bachelor's thesis. In Finland, all of these studies focus around evidence-based clinical nursing and key clinical skills that are required from every nurse working not only in Finland, but also around the European Union as well. So talking about clinical practices, it's good to know that a significant portion of your studies will consist of these practices, which will take place in various care and operating environments in both the healthcare as well as in the social services sectors. However, what is really important to understand is that the clinical practices will take place in a Finnish language environment, and this is why good Finnish language skills, at least on a basic level, are going to be extremely helpful. Alright, so let's talk more about the language requirements. There are basically two super important things to keep in mind. First, every single person applying for a nursing license in Finland has to achieve at minimum a B1 level in Finnish language before they can start practicing as a registered nurse. Second, and as I mentioned just a second ago, parts of the nursing studies in Finland, namely the clinical practices, will be arranged in a Finnish language environment. So because of this, some schools do require you to achieve this B1 level proficiency in Finnish already before your first clinical practices, which usually start either after the first 6 or 12 months of your studies. However, do note that there are also some schools that do not require this proficiency this early, but rather they will arrange the first clinical practices in English. To make this even more complicated, there are also a number of schools that do require you to have B2 level Finnish skills already before you apply to the school. Having said this, I should also note that your nursing studies will also include Finnish language courses that will allow you to reach the necessary proficiency level required to get licensed as a nurse in Finland. So I know that these language requirements might feel pretty complicated, and if you feel that this is too much for you to figure out on your own, there's actually also an easier way for you to apply for a nursing degree in Finland. So Edunation is a Finnish company offering international students an alternative way to apply to study in Finland, and they have partnered with dozens of universities and universities of applied sciences around the country. So what is relevant for you guys is that among these schools are, for example, Metropolia, the SAMK and TAMK Universities of Applied Sciences, all three of which offer English taught bachelor's degrees in nursing. However, what is even more relevant about Edunation is that they do not require any prior Finnish language skills when you apply through their application system. In addition, many of these schools that you apply to through Edunation will hold their first clinical practices in English, meaning that you do not have to reach the B1 level of Finnish before those first practices. So my personal recommendation is that whether or not you are required to speak Finnish, you should still start learning it as soon as possible. Luckily, there are two ways for you to do this through Edunation. First, Edunation has a program called Pathway to Finland, which is a preparatory program that literally preps you for your future nursing studies in Finland. This program helps you improve your English language skills, academic skills, and also your Finnish language skills to a satisfactory level that allows you to get admitted to study here. What is even better is that if you pass your pathway courses, you will get a guaranteed admission to one of your pre-selected bachelor's degree programs. The second way for you to learn Finnish is through a dedicated Finnish language course that Edunation organizes. Again, the goal here is to get your Finnish language skills to such a level that you will be able to easily find part-time work during your studies in Finland. This will also make reaching the required B1 level much easier. More information about Edunation and both of these programs through the links in the description box below. Alright, so of course the next logical question you might have is, how do you actually apply to study nursing in Finland? Well, there are multiple ways to do this, so just bear with me for a moment. So the first way to do this is to look up any of the English language programs offered by Finnish Universities of Applied Sciences and going through the normal university application process that I describe in other videos on my channel. However, the second, and to be honest, the more convenient and also the faster way is to apply directly to a nursing program through Edunation, just like I mentioned a second ago. So here I'm not actually talking about the Pathway program, but rather a direct application that you can use to apply to a range of schools offering English language nursing programs. However, do note that the exact application requirements for each of these schools, for example, again, Metropolia University of Applied Sciences, are slightly different from each other, and you need to check the exact requirements from Edunation's website. So the third option to apply for a nursing program in Finland is specifically for those who are not yet quite ready to apply to these programs on their own, or, for example, if you do not yet fulfill the minimum requirements to apply, for example, in terms of your English language skills. Again, this option is called Pathway to Finland, which is organized by Edunation. So as I mentioned, this program is meant to prepare you for your future studies in Finland. And if you pass the pathway courses, you will be automatically admitted to one of the pathway partner schools, which in the case of nursing are the SAMK and Lab universities of applied sciences. Alright, so next let's talk about working as a nurse in Finland. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, Finland has a huge shortage of nurses and other healthcare workers, and according to estimates, Finland needs to hire 30,000 more healthcare workers by 2030, meaning that getting licensed as a nurse will open up incredible work opportunities. So what is even cooler is that the same thing also applies to students as well. While in Finland you are not allowed to work as a nurse before being fully licensed, many nursing students are hired to part-time positions as practical nurses. So this is really cool because this allows you to gain relevant work experience in your field already during your studies. The only things to note here is that while students can be hired as practical nurses, you're usually required to have completed at least your first year of nursing studies for this to be possible. In addition, some employers do still require you to have at least basic Finnish language skills to make working with your patients a bit easier. I should also note that even while in this video we talk mostly about nursing, Finland also offers excellent opportunities for practical nurses. The cool thing about studying practical nursing is that the degree is slightly faster to do compared to nursing degrees, and you can also apply for a practical nursing degree through edunation. Anyways, going back to the job opportunities in the healthcare sector, a common question that I get is how much are nurses paid in Finland? Well, according to data from one of the biggest recruitment companies in Finland, an average pay for nurses in 2020 was 3,185 euros per month before taxes. That's 38,220 euros per year before taxes. The exact salary will vary slightly based on your experience and on the employer. For example, nurses working in the municipal healthcare had an average monthly salary of 3,207 euros. In comparison, those working for national healthcare services had an average of 3,474 euros, and those working for the private sector had a monthly salary of 3,062 euros. So what you should also take into account is that your salary is not the only relevant benefit that you should take into account when choosing the country that you want to work in. In fact, working in Finland will also enable you to utilize the excellent public services that we have in this country. These include the free healthcare system, which is ranked as one of the best in the world, and which will potentially help you save tens of thousands of euros compared to living in countries where healthcare is not free at the point of service. In addition, if you decide to stay in Finland and raise a family here, your children will be able to enjoy the world's best education system with free education from primary school all the way to university. In fact, the cost of living in Finland is very low compared to many other countries with a demand for nurses, and combining the previously mentioned salaries and the low cost of living, Finland is actually a very attractive country to move in. Anyways, next I recommend that you check out this video where I explain all of the reasons why you should study in Finland in the first place. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.